She woke to the weight of an arm across her waist, heavy, possessive, and entirely unfamiliar. The room was too quiet. The sheets were too expensive. And the man breathing softly against her neck was definitely not someone she remembered going home with. Kira's pulse hammered as fragments surfaced. Champagne, a penthouse elevator. His voice sang her name like a verdict. She turned her head slowly. Dark hair, sharp jaw, a face that belonged on currency or wanted posters. Oh God. Oh no. Happy New Year, besties. This year, I declare blessings and favor upon your life. Thank you for your support last year. I really appreciate you. All 10,700 of you. Please remember, every story here is made with care. Thank you for being here. And if you are new here, drop a comment so I welcome you. 6 hours earlier. The gallery opening was supposed to be boring. Kira had only come because her best friend Simone worked there and needed moral support against the pretentious art crowd. She wore a black wrap dress that clung to her curves, gold hoops, and the kind of confidence that came from surviving worse than awkward small talk. She was studying a chaotic red painting when she felt it, the pressure of being watched, not casually, deliberately. She turned. He stood 20 feet away, a glass of whiskey in one hand, his gaze locked on her, with the kind of focus that made her skin prickle. Tall, lean but broad-shouldered, dressed in all black, expensive, tailored, severe. His face was beautiful in a way that felt dangerous. Sharp cheekbones, a mouth that didn't smile, eyes so dark they swallowed light. Korean, mid-30s. And absolutely not the type to attend charity art events. Kira looked away first. A mistake. She moved toward the champagne table, heart beating faster than it should. She told herself it was nothing. Men stared sometimes. She was used to it. But when she reached for a glass, a hand appeared beside hers. His. "You don't like the painting," he said. His voice was low, measured, with the barest trace of an accent. Not a question. A statement. Kira glanced up. He was closer now. Close enough that she could smell something woodsy and clean. Close enough to see the faint scar above his left eyebrow. "I didn't say that," she replied, keeping her tone light. "You didn't have to." He handed her the champagne flute, his fingers brushing hers. The touch was brief. Electric. "Kira," she said, because silence felt more dangerous. "I know." Her stomach dropped. "Excuse me?" He tilted his head slightly, studying her the way someone might study a contract before signing. "Your friend introduced you earlier to the curator." Relief, then suspicion. "And you just happened to remember?" "Yes." The simplicity of it should have been reassuring. It wasn't. "Do you have a name?" she asked. "Jihoon." No last name. No elaboration. He turned slightly, gesturing toward the painting she'd been staring at. "The artist is trying too hard. The chaos is performative. Real violence doesn't announce itself." Kira blinked. "That's a dark read for a charity event." "I'm not here for charity." "Then why are you here?" His gaze returned to hers, unblinking. "I'm deciding." "Deciding what?" "Whether to leave." "And?" "Not yet." She should have walked away. She didn't. They talked, if it could be called that. He asked questions with surgical precision. Where she worked, what she studied, why she moved to Seoul. He volunteered almost nothing in return, yet somehow the conversation didn't feel one-sided. It felt like being circled. "You're not from here," he said. "Chicago," Kira answered. "I came for a consulting contract. Stayed because I liked it." "Brave." "Expensive," she corrected. "Seoul isn't cheap." "No, it isn't." Something about the way he said it made her think he wasn't talking about rent. Simone appeared at her elbow, eyes wide. "Kira, we need to—" "Oh." She stopped. staring at Jihoon. Her expression shifted. Fear? Recognition? Simone, Kira said slowly. This is Jihoon. Simone's smile was too tight. Hi, sorry, Kira, can I borrow you? Go, Jihoon said before Kira could respond. He stepped back, hands in his pockets. I'll find you later. Not. Maybe. Not. If you want. I'll find you. Simone dragged her into the bathroom. Are you insane? She hissed. What? That's Cha Jihoon. Kira frowned. Okay. Cha Jihoon. As in, the Cha family. As in, you do not talk to him unless you want your life to get very complicated very fast. Simone, what are you talking about? Her friend lowered her voice. He's connected, Kira. Like, connected. His family controls half the city. Restaurants, hotels, political donations, you name it. People don't say no to him. Kira's pulse kicked. You're saying I'm saying you should stay away from him. She tried, for about an hour. But when the event wound down, and she stepped outside into the cool night air, he was there, leaning against a black sedan, arms crossed, waiting. You're hard to lose, Kira said, stopping a few feet away. You're easy to follow. That's creepy. Yes. No apology, no charm, just honesty. She should have been afraid. She was. But there was something else beneath it. Something that made her feet stay planted. What do you want, Jihoon? He pushed off the car, closing the distance between them in 2 strides. He stopped close enough that she had to tilt her head back to hold his gaze. Dinner, he said. That's it. For now. And if I say no? His jaw tightened. For the first time, something flickered in his expression. Not anger. Not frustration. Disappointment. Then I'll leave, he said quietly. And I won't bother you again. Kira believed him. That was the problem. One dinner, she said. His eyes didn't leave hers. One. The restaurant was empty, not quiet. Empty. A private room, low lighting, a table set for 2. The kind of place that didn't have prices on the menu because if you had to ask, you couldn't afford it. Did you buy out the entire restaurant? Kira asked as they sat. Yes. Why? I don't like interruptions. She didn't know whether to laugh or run. He ordered for both of them, fluent, specific, unbothered by her raised eyebrow. When the food came, it was perfect. She hated that. So, she said, breaking the silence, what do you actually do, Jihoon? Manage investments. That's vague. It's accurate. Simone seems to think you're dangerous. He set down his chopsticks, meeting her gaze. I am. No deflection, no lie. Then why am I here? She asked. Because you're curious. And you? Because I haven't been curious in a long time. She learned almost nothing about him that night, but she felt everything. The way he listened, completely, without distraction. The way he watched her hands when she talked. The way he said her name, like he was testing the shape of it. When he drove her home, he walked her to her door. Thank you for dinner, Kira said, unlocking it. Kira! She turned. He stood 2 steps below her, hands in his pockets, looking up at her with something unreadable in his expression. I want to see you again, he said. Why? Because I don't want to stop. It should have sounded possessive. It should have sent her running. Instead, her chest tightened. I'll think about it, she said. He nodded once. Good night. He waited until she was inside, until the lock clicked, until the lights came on. Only then did he leave. 3 days later, flowers arrived at her office. Not roses, peonies. Her favorite, though she'd never told him. The card was unsigned. That night, her phone buzzed. Unknown number. Did you think about it? She stared at the screen. Kira, how did you get my number? Unknown, I asked. Kira. That's not an answer. Unknown. It's the only one you'll get. She should have blocked him. Kira. Dinner. Tomorrow. Somewhere public. Unknown. No. Kira. Then no deal. 3 minutes passed. Unknown. Fine. He took her to a night market. It was so unexpected that Kira almost laughed. Gone was the private restaurant, the tailored suit. Tonight, he wore dark jeans and a black sweater, his hair slightly mussed by the wind. He looked almost normal. Almost. Better? He asked. Much. They walked through the stalls, eating tteokbokki and hoteok, his hand occasionally brushing the small of her back to guide her through the crowd. He didn't talk much, but he watched her constantly, like he was cataloging every expression, every laugh. You're staring, she said. I know. It's rude. I don't care. She stopped walking, turning to face him. Why me, Jihoon? You could have anyone. His expression didn't change. I don't want anyone. You don't even know me? Then let me. She did. Against every instinct, every warning from Simone, every rational thought, she let him in. Not all at once, slowly, carefully. Coffee dates that turned into long walks, late-night phone calls where he said almost nothing, but stayed on the line until she fell asleep. Quiet dinners, where he learned that she liked old movies and hated cilantro and had a scar on her knee from falling off a bike at 8. He never pushed, never demanded, but he was always there, consistent, steady, unmovable. And somewhere in the spaces between words, Kira started to fall. It happened on a Thursday. They were at her apartment, his first time inside. She'd made pasta, and he'd brought wine, and everything felt almost normal until he saw the photo on her bookshelf. Her, younger, smiling beside a man with his arm around her shoulders. Who is he? Jihoon asked. His tone hadn't changed, but something in the air had. An ex, Kira said carefully. From Chicago. It ended 2 years ago. Why do you still have his picture? It's not his picture. It's a memory. Jihoon set down his wine glass. Do you still think about him? Sometimes. Not the way you're implying. He turned to face her fully. His expression was calm. His eyes were not. I don't share, Kira. Her breath caught. I'm not asking you to. Good. He crossed the room, stopping in front of her, close enough that she could feel the heat radiating off him. I need you to understand something, he said quietly. I'm not a good man. I've done things you'll never know about. Hurt people. Made choices that can't be undone. Then why tell me? Because you should know what you're getting into. And what am I getting into? His hand came up, fingers brushing her jaw. The touch was feather light, devastating. Me, he said. All of me. And I don't know how to do this halfway. Kira's heart slammed against her ribs. I'm not asking you to, she whispered. Something broke in his expression. He kissed her. Slow, deep, consuming. His hand slid into her hair, tilting her head back as he walked her backward until her spine hit the wall. She gasped, and he swallowed the sound, his other hand gripping her waist like he was afraid she'd disappear. When he finally pulled back, they were both breathing hard. Stay with me tonight, he said. Not a question. Not a demand. A plea. Okay, Kira whispered. She woke to sunlight and unfamiliar sheets, and his arm around her waist. For a moment she didn't move, didn't breathe. His face was inches from hers, softened by sleep in a way she'd never seen. He looked younger, almost peaceful. Then his eyes opened, dark, focused, awake. Hi, she whispered. His arm tightened. Hi. Did we? Yes. Heat flooded her face. I don't really remember. You fell asleep, he said quietly. I brought you here. Relief. then confusion. Why? Because I didn't want you to wake up alone. Her chest ached. Jihoon, don't, he said. Don't say it was a mistake. I wasn't going to. His gaze searched hers. Then what? I don't know what this is, she admitted, but it scares me. Good, he said. It should. He pulled her closer, his forehead resting against hers. I'm not letting you go, Kira, he murmured. Not now. And God help her. She believed him. The next 3 weeks existed in a space Kira didn't have words for. Not dating. Not casual. Something heavier. Something that felt like standing on the edge of a cliff and choosing not to step back. Jihoon didn't ask for her time. He claimed it. Not aggressively, but with a quiet assumption that undid her more than force ever could. He appeared at her office at lunch with food she hadn't ordered, but somehow wanted. He texted her in the mornings. Single words, mostly. Awake. Safe. Mine. That last one should have bothered her. It didn't. She started keeping a toothbrush at his penthouse. He cleared a drawer without asking. Her coffee preference appeared in his kitchen. Oat milk. Cinnamon. The expensive kind she pretended not to love. You're getting comfortable, Simone observed one afternoon, eyeing the designer bag Kira was carrying. That's new. It was a gift. Kira, Simone's voice dropped. You know this can't end well, right? You don't know that. I know him. Or at least, I know what people say. He's not. She stopped, searching for words. Men like that don't do relationships. They do ownership. Kira's jaw tightened. He's not like that with me. Yet. But Simone was wrong. Jihoon was possessive, yes. Protective to the point of suffocation sometimes. But he also listened when she said no. Stepped back when she needed space. Learned her boundaries by testing them gently, then respecting them absolutely. He was teaching her that intensity didn't have to mean control. That obsession could look like care. One night, she found him on his balcony at 2 a.m, smoking a cigarette with the city sprawled below him like a kingdom. Can't sleep, she asked, wrapping a blanket around her shoulders. He turned, eyes tracking her movement. I sleep better when you're next to me. I was next to you. You got up. To use the bathroom, Jihoon. I'm allowed. His mouth almost smiled. Almost. I know. She moved beside him, leaning against the railing. Do you ever stop watching me? No. Why? He took a drag, exhaling slowly. Because I'm trying to figure out why you're still here. The honesty gutted her. Maybe I'm trying to figure out the same thing, she said softly. He turned his head, studying her profile. And? I think... She chose her words carefully. I think you're the first person who's ever made me feel like staying was a choice, not a compromise. Something shifted in his expression. He dropped the cigarette, crushing it beneath his heel, then pulled her against him, his arms wrapped around her from behind, chin resting on top of her head. I'm not easy to love, Kira, he murmured. I didn't ask for easy. His grip tightened. You should have. It started small. A canceled dinner. A clipped phone call. Jihoon arriving at her apartment at midnight with blood on his knuckles and nothing to say about it. Let me see, Kira said, reaching for his hand. He pulled back. It's fine. It's not fine. You're bleeding. I said it's fine. The edge in his voice stopped her. She'd heard him, cold before, distant, controlled, but never sharp, never with her. What happened? She asked quietly. Nothing you need to worry about. That's not an answer. It's the only one you're getting. Her chest tightened. Jihoon! Leave it, Kira. He walked past her into the bathroom, shutting the door with a finality that felt like a wall going up. She stood there, staring at the closed door, feeling something ugly twist in her stomach. fear, and beneath it, anger. He didn't come to bed. She found him on her couch at dawn, still dressed, staring at nothing. "Are you going to tell me what's going on?" she asked. "No." "Why not?" "Because it doesn't concern you." The words landed like a slap. "I'm in your life, Jehoon. That means it concerns me." His gaze cut to hers, dark, flat, unreachable. "You're in my bed, Kira. That's not the same thing." She recoiled. "What?" He stood, straightening his shirt. "I need to go." "That's it? You're just leaving?" "Yes. After what you just said." He stopped at the door, his back to her. For a moment, she thought he might turn around, might take it back. He didn't. "Lock the door behind me," he said. Then he was gone. 3 days of nothing. No texts, no calls, no flowers. Kira told herself she didn't care, that she'd seen this coming, that men like Jehoon didn't change. They just paused long enough to make you think they had. But the apartment felt too quiet. Her bed felt too big. And every time her phone buzzed, her heart leapt before logic could stop it. Simone took her out for drinks on the 4th night. "You're better off," she said, sliding a glass across the table. "Trust me." "I didn't ask for your opinion." "No, but you need it." Simone softened. "Kira, I love you, but that man was never going to give you what you need." "And what do I need?" "Safety, stability. Someone who doesn't make you feel like you're constantly waiting for the other shoe to drop." Kira stared into her drink. "What if I don't want safe?" "Then you're an idiot." She was halfway through her second glass when she felt it. That pressure. That weight. She turned. Jehoon stood near the bar, 20 feet away, hands in his pockets. He wasn't looking at her. He was looking at the man sitting 2 seats down, mid-30s, handsome, currently smiling at Kira like he'd won something. "Oh no." "Friend of yours?" Simone asked, following her gaze. "Not exactly." Jehoon started walking, not toward her, toward the man. Kira's pulse spiked. She stood, crossing the space in seconds, stepping between them before Jehoon could get too close. "Don't," she said quietly. His eyes were black, empty. "Move, Kira." "No." "He was looking at you." "So?" "So I don't like it." "That's not a reason." His jaw clenched. "Move." "Or what?" She stepped closer, forcing him to look at her. "You'll hurt him." "Over a smile?" Something flickered in his expression. Not quite shame, not quite regret, but close. "Why are you here, Jehoon?" she asked. "I needed to see you." 3 days. You ignored me for 3 days. "I know." "And now you show up because some stranger smiled at me?" "Yes." The honesty was infuriating. "You don't get to do this," she said. "You don't get to shut me out, then act like I belong to you." His hand came up, fingers brushing her cheek. The touch was gentle, desperate. "I'm sorry," he said quietly. Kira's throat tightened. "For what?" "For making you think you were only in my bed." His thumb traced her jaw. "You're everywhere, Kira. Every thought. Every breath. I don't know how to do this without destroying it, and it terrifies me." Her chest ached. "Then let me in. Stop protecting me from whatever you think I can't handle." "What if I can't?" "Then we're done." His hand dropped. "You don't mean that." "Try me." He took her to a place she'd never been, an industrial building on the outskirts of the city. Concrete, steel, shadows, the kind of place that didn't exist on maps. "Where are we?" Kira asked as they stepped out of the car. "Somewhere I shouldn't bring you." "Then why did you?" He looked at her, and for the first time, she saw fear in his eyes. Real, unguarded fear. "Because you asked for the truth," he said. Inside, the space opened into a warehouse, empty, except for a single office in the back. Glass walls, dim lighting, a desk covered in paperwork. A man sat behind it. Older. Korean. Scarred. He looked up when they entered, his gaze sliding from Ji-hoon to Kira with something like amusement. "So," he said in Korean, "this is her." "Hyungnim," Ji-hoon replied, his tone respectful but not subservient. The man switched to English. "You don't look like someone who'd make him stupid?" Kira blinked. "Excuse me? He's been distracted. Sloppy. 3 weeks ago he would have handled the Young situation without hesitation. Now?" The man leaned back. "He let them walk because he was busy playing house." Her stomach dropped. She looked at Ji-hoon. "What is he talking about?" Ji-hoon's expression was unreadable. "Business." "What kind of business?" "The kind you don't ask about." Ji-hoon. "I'm not a good man, Kira." His voice was quiet, steady. "I told you that. But I need you to understand what that means. The people I work with, the things we do, they don't stop because I found someone I care about. If anything, it makes it worse. Because now, I have something to lose." Her pulse hammered. "Are you trying to scare me away?" "I'm trying to give you a choice," the older man snorted. "She's already made it, boy. She's standing here, isn't she?" Ji-hoon ignored him. His gaze stayed locked on Kira. "If you stay, there are rules. You don't ask about my work. You don't go anywhere without telling me. And you sure as hell don't smile at strange men in bars." "That's insane," she said. "That's the price." "For what?" "For being mine." She should have run. Should have called a cab, gone home, blocked his number, and moved on with her life. Instead, she stepped closer. "I have rules too," she said. His eyebrow lifted. "I'm listening. You don't shut me out. You don't disappear. And if something's wrong, if you're in danger or scared or whatever, you tell me, even if you think I can't handle it." "Kira, those are my terms, Ji-hoon. Take them or I walk." Silence stretched between them. The older man chuckled. "I like her." Ji-hoon's gaze never left hers. "Deal." "Say it," she pressed. "Say you agree." His hand came up, cupping her face. "I agree. No more disappearing. No more shutting you out. Promise. I promise." She searched his eyes for the lie. Found none. "Okay," she whispered. He kissed her then, slow, deep, claiming, in front of his superior, in a warehouse that smelled like concrete and secrets, with the weight of his world pressing down on both of them. When he pulled back, his forehead rested against hers. "You're going to regret this," he murmured. "Probably. I'll make it worth it. You better." 2 weeks later, everything felt different. Not worse, not better. Just more. More presence, more attention, more Ji-hoon in every corner of her life. He drove her to work, picked her up, sent lunch to her office with alarming accuracy about what she was craving. At night, he cooked for her, or rather, ordered in and plated it like he had. And they ate on his balcony while he asked about her day with the focus of someone memorizing scripture. "You're being weird," she said one night. "How?" "Too attentive. Too nice." His mouth curved. "Would you prefer I go back to brooding?" "I'd prefer honesty." "What's going on?" He set down his fork, considering. "I'm trying to make up for the last time. By smothering me. By showing you I meant what I said." Her chest squeezed. "Ji-hoon, I don't need grand gestures. I just need you. You have me." "Do I?" His hand reached across the table, covering hers. "Yes." But the world didn't care about promises. It came for them on a Wednesday. Kira was leaving her office when a car pulled up. Black, expensive, wrong. A man stepped out. Not Ji-hoon. Someone else. Older. Cold-eyed. "Miss Kira," he said in accented English. Mr. Cha requests your presence. Her blood went cold. I can call him myself. He insists. And if I refuse? The man smiled. It didn't reach his eyes. Then I insist. They took her to a restaurant. Private room, expensive. Jihoon was already there. So was someone else. A woman. Korean. Beautiful in a way that felt weaponized. Sharp cheekbones, perfect posture. Designer. Everything. She sat beside Jihoon with the ease of familiarity, her hand resting on the table inches from his. Kira's stomach turned. Jihoon's expression was carved from stone. Kira. What is this? She asked quietly. The woman answered. A reminder. Her English was flawless, her smile vicious. I'm Minji, Jihoon's fiancé. The word landed like a gunshot. Kira's gaze cut to Jihoon. What? Former fiancé, he corrected, his voice flat. Engagement arranged by our families, broken off 2 years ago. And yet here I am, Minji purred. Because apparently, the families are reconsidering. Something about strengthening alliances, protecting territory. She looked at Kira with mock sympathy. No offense, darling, but you were never part of the plan. Kira couldn't breathe. Jihoon, he stood. We're leaving. Sit down, Minji said sharply. This conversation isn't over. Yes, it is. Your father won't. My father, Jihoon said, his voice dropping to something lethal. Doesn't control me. Not anymore. Minji's expression hardened. You think you can walk away from this? From us? You'll lose everything. Then I lose everything. He crossed to Kira, taking her hand. Come on. She let him pull her out of the restaurant, into the car, into silence. They drove for 20 minutes before she spoke. Were you going to tell me? There's nothing to tell. She said you were engaged. I was. It's over. Is it? Kira turned to face him. Because it didn't look over, Jihoon. It looked like I walked into the middle of something I was never supposed to see. His jaw clenched. She's trying to manipulate you. By telling the truth? By twisting it. Then untwist it. Her voice cracked. Tell me what's really going on. Tell me why she thinks she can just show up and... Because my family wants me back in line, he said flatly. They think marrying her will fix things, stabilize alliances, keep me controlled. And I told them no. When? 3 weeks ago, right before I disappeared on you. The pieces clicked into place, the blood on his knuckles, the distance, the fear in his eyes. Jihoon, she whispered. What did you do? He pulled the car over, turning to face her. I made it clear that I'm done following their rules, that I'm choosing my own life. My own. He stopped. Your own what? His hand came up, cupping her face. You, Kira. I'm choosing you. Tears burned her eyes. You can't just say that and expect. I'm not expecting anything. I'm telling you the truth. For the first time in my life, I want something that's mine. Not theirs. Not the family's. Mine. And what happens when they don't let you have it? His expression darkened. Then they'll learn what happens when they take what's mine. Kira didn't go to his penthouse that night. She went home, locked the door, sat on her couch in the dark, and tried to make sense of what she'd walked into. An arranged engagement. A family that controlled him like a chess piece. A woman who looked at her like she was temporary. Her phone buzzed. Jihoon, let me in. She looked at the door. He was out there. She could feel it. Kira, I need space. Jihoon. No, Kira. That's not your decision. Jihoon. Open the door, Kira. Kira. Go home. 3 minutes of silence. Then her phone rang. She considered not answering. But the alternative, him breaking down her door, felt more likely. What? She answered. Look at me. She stood, crossing to the window. He was on the street below, phone pressed to his ear, face tilted up toward her apartment. Even from 4 floors up, she could see the tension in his shoulders. "I see you," she said quietly. "Then you know I'm not leaving." "Jihoon, I'll stay here all night if I have to. I don't care. But I'm not walking away from you because she showed up and played games. This isn't about her." "Then what is it about?" Kira pressed her forehead against the glass. "I don't know if I can do this." Silence on the other end. Then, quietly, "Do what?" "Be the reason you lose everything. Be the person your family uses to hurt you. Be," her voice cracked, "be someone you regret." "You think I'd regret you?" "Eventually." "Kira, you said it yourself. You're choosing me over your family, over your life. What happens in a year when the cost gets too high? When you wake up and realize what you gave up?" "I wake up next to you," he said simply. "That's what happens." Tears slipped down her cheeks. "You don't know that." "Yes, I do." "How?" "Because I've spent my entire life doing what I was told, marrying who they chose, building what they wanted. And I was empty, Kira, every day, every year, until I saw you in that gallery and felt something I didn't know I was capable of." Her breath hitched. "So no," he continued, his voice rough. "I don't know what the future looks like. I don't know if we'll survive this. But I know that going back to that life, to being their weapon, would kill me faster than anything they could do to me now." "Jihoon, let me in," he said quietly. "Please." She closed her eyes. "One condition. Anything. You tell me everything. No more half-truths. No more protecting me from the ugly parts. If I'm in this, I'm in this." "Okay. I mean it. I know." "Okay." She hung up and buzzed him in. He looked exhausted. Not physically. But there was something hollowed out in his expression as he stepped into her apartment, like he'd been holding his breath for hours and could finally exhale. "Hi," she said. "Hi." They stood there, 3 feet apart, until Kira closed the distance. She wrapped her arms around him, pressing her face against his chest. His heartbeat was too fast. "I'm scared," she admitted. His arms came around her, holding tight. "Me too." "Of what?" "Losing you." She pulled back enough to look at him. "Then don't give me reasons to leave." "I'll try." "You'll do better than try." His mouth curved, small, tired, real. "Yes, ma'am." They talked until 3 in the morning. He told her about his family, about his father, who built an empire on fear and loyalty, about his older brother, who died in a car accident that wasn't an accident, about Minji, whose family controlled the ports, and whose marriage to Jihoon was supposed to seal an alliance that would make both families untouchable. "I was 26 when we got engaged," he said. "I didn't fight it. I didn't think I had the right to." "What changed?" "I did. Slowly. I started seeing what my life would look like. Decades of being a figurehead, making decisions that benefited them, never asking what I wanted." He looked at her. "And then I met you, and suddenly I knew exactly what I wanted. A consulting analyst from Chicago with student loans and a Netflix addiction? You." The simplicity of it gutted her. "Your family won't just let this go," she said carefully. "Minji made that clear." "No, they won't. So what do we do?" He was quiet for a long moment. "I have money. Accounts they don't know about. Properties in my name. We could leave. Singapore, London. Somewhere they can't reach us. You'd do that? In a heartbeat. And live in hiding. If it meant keeping you safe?" "Yes." Kira shook her head. "That's not a life, Jihoon. That's running." "Then what do you suggest?" "We stay. We fight. And we make them understand that you're not coming back." His expression darkened. "Kira, you don't know what you're asking." "Then tell me." They don't negotiate. They don't compromise. If I refuse them, they'll come after everything I care about, including you. Let them try." He stared at her like she'd lost her mind. "You're serious. You said you wanted me in your life. This is your life. So either we face it together, or we don't do this at all." He exhaled slowly, running a hand through his hair. "You're going to get hurt. Probably. I won't be able to stop it. I'm not asking you to. I'm asking you to trust me." His gaze searched hers, looking for doubt, for fear, for any sign she didn't mean it. He found none. "Okay," he said finally. "We stay. We fight. Together. Together." The next 2 weeks were deceptively calm. Jihoon returned to work. Kira kept her routine. They fell into something that almost resembled normalcy. Dinners, late-night conversations, mornings where she woke up wrapped in him and almost forgot about Minji and families and threats. Almost. But there were signs. The way Jihoon checked his phone more often, the tension in his shoulders when certain numbers called, the nights he came home late with that look in his eyes, the one that said he'd been somewhere she couldn't follow. "Talk to me," she said one night. They were in his penthouse, tangled together on the couch, her head on his chest. "About what?" "Whatever you're not saying." His hand stilled in her hair. "My father wants to meet you." Her stomach dropped. "When? Tomorrow?" "Dinner." "And if I say no? Then he'll find another way." She sat up, turning to face him. "What does that mean?" "It means he doesn't ask twice." Jihoon's jaw tightened. "But you don't have to go. I can handle him." "By doing what?" "Whatever I have to." "Jihoon, I'm serious, Kira. You don't owe him anything. You don't owe them anything." "But you do." He didn't answer. She cupped his face, forcing him to look at her. "I'll go." "No." "Yes." "Because if I don't, this doesn't end. And I'm tired of living in the in-between. You don't know what you're walking into." "Then prepare me." The restaurant was the kind of place that didn't advertise. Private entrance, no sign. The type of establishment where reservations were made months in advance, or never, if you weren't the right kind of person. Jihoon's hand stayed on her lower back as they entered, a constant point of contact that felt like both comfort and claim. "Breathe," he murmured. "I am breathing." Slower. She shot him a look. He almost smiled. They were led to a private room at the back. Traditional Korean setup, low table, floor seating, sliding doors that closed with a whisper of finality. 2 people waited inside. A man in his 60s, sharp-eyed, gray-haired, wearing a suit that probably cost more than Kira's monthly rent. Jihoon's father. She could see the resemblance in the bone structure, the unblinking stare. And Minji, because of course. "Jihoon," his father said in Korean, "you're late." "Traffic," Jihoon replied in English, helping Kira sit before taking the spot beside her, close enough that their thighs touched. His father's gaze flicked to their proximity, then to Kira. He switched to English. "So, you're the reason my son has forgotten his responsibilities." "With respect, sir," Kira said calmly. "Your son makes his own choices." Minji smirked. "How American." "How honest," Kira corrected. Jihoon's hand found hers under the table. A warning or reassurance. She wasn't sure. His father leaned back, studying her with the intensity of someone who'd built his life on reading people. "Do you know what you've cost him?" "I know what he's chosen. Choice is a luxury he doesn't have. Everyone has a choice. Idealistic." His father's tone was almost amused. "Jihoon, I see the appeal. But this arrangement, it's temporary. You understand that, yes?" "No," Jihoon said flatly. "I don't." "Then let me clarify." His father's voice hardened. "You have 2 options. End this distraction and honor your commitment to Minji's family, or lose your position, your resources, and every protection this family provides. Kira's pulse kicked. Beside her, Jihoon went very still. That's not a choice, he said quietly. That's a threat. It's reality. Then I choose reality without you. The room went cold. Minji's eyes widened. His father's expression didn't change, but something shifted in the air, like the moment before a storm breaks. You're willing to give up everything, his father said slowly. For her. Yes. Your inheritance, your name, your safety. Yes. And what about her safety? The question landed like a blade. Jihoon's grip on Kira's hand tightened. Don't. I'm not threatening, his father said mildly. I'm asking. You think leaving this family protects her? You think they'll just let you walk away with what you know? They won't have a choice. Everyone has a choice, Jihoon. Isn't that what your girlfriend just said? Minji leaned forward, her smile sharp. He's right, you know. The second you leave, you're not protected. And neither is she. Accidents happen. People disappear. It's tragic, really, but enough. Jihoon's voice was lethal. He stood, pulling Kira with him. We're done here. Sit down, his father ordered. No. If you walk out that door, I know. Jihoon looked at his father, and for the first time, Kira saw something that might have been grief in his expression. I know what it costs, and I'm paying it anyway. He turned, guiding Kira toward the door. She'll die because of you, Minji called after them, and you'll have no one to blame but yourself. Jihoon didn't look back. They drove in silence, not to his penthouse, not to her apartment. Just drove. Kira watched the city blur past, her mind spinning. She'll die because of you. Pull over, she said finally. Kira, pull over, Jihoon. He did, jerking the car into an empty parking lot. The engine ticked in the sudden quiet. I need you to be honest with me, Kira said, turning to face him. Can you protect me? From them? His jaw worked. I'll do everything. That's not what I asked. Can you protect me? I don't know. The honesty broke her. Then maybe they're right, she whispered. Maybe this is selfish. Maybe we're both being idiots, choosing each other when it's going to get one of us killed. Don't. His hand came up, cupping her face. Don't let them win. This isn't about winning, Jihoon. This is about surviving. Then we survive together. How? Her voice cracked. How do we survive when your family has the power to destroy everything? When staying with you puts a target on my back? Because I won't let them touch you. You can't promise that. Yes, I can. How? He was silent for a long moment. Then, because I'll burn it all down before I let them hurt you. She stared at him. What does that mean? It means I have leverage, information, things they don't want public. I've been building a contingency for years, just in case. A contingency? Insurance, he clarified. Files, records, proof of things that would destroy them if it got out. I never thought I'd use it, but now you have a reason. Yes. Kira's breath shuddered out. You'd really do that? Turn on your own family? They stopped being my family the second they threatened you. They went back to his penthouse. Neither of them spoke as the elevator climbed, as the doors opened, as they stepped into the dark, glass-walled space that suddenly felt more like a cage than a sanctuary. Kira walked to the window, staring out at the city. Behind her, she heard Jihoon pour whiskey, heard him cross the room. I'm sorry, he said quietly. For what? For dragging you into this. She turned. He stood a few feet away, glass in hand, looking more lost than she'd ever seen him. You didn't drag me, she said. I chose this. I chose you. Why? The question was so raw, so genuinely confused, that it hurt. "Because when I'm with you," she said slowly, "I feel like I matter. Not because of what I do or who I know or what I can offer. Just because I'm me, and you see me. The real me. Not the version I show everyone else." He set down the glass, crossed to her, stopped close enough that she had to tilt her head back to hold his gaze. "I see you," he murmured. "Every part, every moment. And I still can't believe you're real." His hand came up, fingers tracing her jaw. Slow, reverent. "Jihoon," she whispered, "I love you." The words hung between them, simple, devastating, true. "You don't have to say it back," he continued. "I just need you to know. Whatever happens, whatever comes next. I love you, Kira, completely." She couldn't breathe, couldn't think. So she kissed him. It wasn't gentle. It was desperate, consuming. The culmination of weeks of tension and fear and need. His hands were in her hair, on her waist, pulling her closer like he could merge them into one person. She gasped against his mouth, and he swallowed the sound, backing her toward the bedroom without breaking contact. They fell onto the bed in a tangle of limbs and want. His mouth moved to her neck, her collarbone, every touch igniting something that felt dangerously close to combustion. "Jihoon," she breathed. "I've got you," he murmured against her skin. "I've got you." Clothes disappeared, boundaries dissolved, and for the first time since this started, Kira let herself fall completely. No fear, no hesitation, just him and her, and the overwhelming certainty that this was right. Even if the world outside was burning, even if tomorrow brought consequences, tonight, they chose each other. Kira woke to sunlight and silence. Jihoon's side of the bed was empty. She sat up, heart kicking, and found him on the balcony. Dressed. Phone to his ear. His voice was low, clipped, the tone he used for business, for war. She wrapped a sheet around herself and joined him. He ended the call when he saw her. "Good morning." "Who was that?" "My lawyer." Her stomach sank. "Jihoon." "I'm putting the plan in motion," he said. "The files, the insurance. I'm going to end this, Kira. For good." "When?" "Today." "That's too fast. It's not fast enough." He pulled her against him, his arms wrapping around her like armor. "I need you safe. I need this over. I need—" His voice caught. "I need to know I didn't destroy your life by loving you." She held him tighter. "You didn't. Not yet. Not ever." He pulled back, searching her face. "Promise me something." "What?" "If this goes wrong, if they come for me, you run. You don't look back. You don't try to save me. You just run." "Jihoon, promise me, Kira." She couldn't, because they both knew. If it came to that, she wouldn't run. She'd burn with him. Jihoon left at noon. 3 hours later, Kira's phone rang. Unknown number. "Hello? Miss Kira." The voice was smooth, accented, unfamiliar. "I believe we should talk." Her pulse spiked. "Who is this?" "A friend, or an enemy. That depends entirely on your next choice." I'm hanging up. Jihoon gave his father an ultimatum this morning. Very dramatic. Very foolish. Do you know what happens to men who threaten empires? Her hand tightened on the phone. "What do you want?" "To offer you a way out. Leave Seoul. Tonight. I'll provide the ticket, the documents, the money. You disappear, and Jihoon lives." "You're lying." "Am I?" "Right now, he's sitting in a room with 5 very angry men who want him dead. The only reason he's still breathing is because they're waiting to see if you're smart enough to run. If you are, he becomes useful again. If you're not—" The voice paused. "Well, love makes men weak, and weak men don't survive long in this world. I want proof he's alive. You'll have it. Check your phone." The call ended. 3 seconds later, a video arrived. She opened it with shaking hands. Jihoon, sitting in a windowless room, alone. His face was calm, but there was blood on his knuckles. Fresh. The video cut off after 5 seconds. Her phone rang again. Satisfied. "Let me talk to him." "No. You have 2 hours to decide. There's a ticket waiting for you at Incheon Airport. Gate 23, flight to London. After that, you're on your own." A pause. "Choose wisely, Miss Kira. Some love stories don't have happy endings." The line went dead. Kira stared at her phone. 2 hours. Her hands were shaking. Her mind raced through options, scenarios, outcomes, all of them bad. If she ran, Jihoon lived, but he'd spend the rest of his life as their weapon, trapped in the exact cage he'd tried to escape. If she stayed, they'd kill him. Maybe her too. There was no good choice, only impossible ones. She called Simone. "I need your help," she said when her friend answered. "And I need you not to ask questions." Simone arrived 20 minutes later with a duffel bag and a look that said she already regretted this. "You're about to do something stupid," Simone said. "Probably. And I can't talk you out of it." "No," Simone sighed. "What do you need?" "A car, a phone they can't trace, and an address." "Whose address?" "Jihoon's father." "Absolutely not." "Simone." "Kira, are you insane? You can't just walk into that man's house." "I'm not walking in. I'm making him come to me." "How?" Kira's jaw set. "By giving him exactly what he wants." She sent the message at 4:47 p.m. to Cha Dong-woo, Jihoon's father. From Kira, "Marshall, I'm leaving. Tonight. But I want something in exchange. Meet me at Namsan Tower, observation deck. 6 p.m. Come alone, or I disappear, and you never see me again." She didn't expect a reply. She got one in 30 seconds. Cha Dong-woo. Agreed. Namsan Tower at twilight was breathtaking. The city spread below in a glittering sprawl, the Han River cutting through it like a vein of silver. Tourists crowded the observation deck, taking photos, laughing, completely unaware that something dangerous was about to happen in their midst. Kira waited by the north-facing window. At 6:03, Cha Dong-woo arrived. He came alone, as promised, dressed in a charcoal suit that probably cost more than her education. He looked smaller than she remembered, older, almost human. Almost. "Miss Marshall," he said, stopping 3 feet away. "You wanted to negotiate. I want Jihoon released, unharmed, immediately. And in exchange, I leave. Tonight, you'll never see me again." His expression didn't change. "Why should I believe you?" "Because I love him," she said simply. "And I'm not stupid enough to think we can survive this. You win. I'm just asking you to let him live." Something flickered in his eyes. Not sympathy. Calculation. "You care for him," he said slowly. "That much is clear. But love is not enough to change what he is, what he's done. I'm not asking you to change him. I'm asking you to spare him. He threatened me, threatened this family. There are consequences. Then make me the consequence." Kira stepped closer. "Hurt me, destroy my life, ruin my career. Whatever you need to do to prove your point. But let him go. You'd sacrifice yourself for him." "Yes." Cha Dong-woo studied her for a long moment. Then, quietly, "You remind me of someone." "Who?" "His mother." He turned to face the window. "She was like you, strong, stubborn, foolish enough to think love mattered more than legacy." His voice hardened. "She died believing that. And my son watched it happen." Kira's chest tightened. "Jihoon never told me." "Because he doesn't speak of it. But I do. Because you need to understand what you're asking. If I let him go, if I allow this weakness, he will spend the rest of his life looking over his shoulder, waiting for the next threat, the next enemy who sees you as leverage. Then teach them not to touch me. He turned, surprise flickering across his face. Excuse me. You're his father. You built this empire. So use it. Make it clear that I'm off limits, that anyone who comes for me answers to you. Why would I do that? Because deep down, you don't want him dead. You want him obedient. But he'll never be obedient if you kill the only thing he's ever chosen for himself. Silence stretched between them. You're not what I expected, Cha Dongwu said finally. Neither are you. He almost smiled. I could make this easy, you know. One phone call, you disappear. Jihoon grieves. Eventually, he moves on. He won't. You're certain. I've never been more certain of anything. Another long pause. Then, I'll make you a deal. I'm listening. I release him. I call off the family. You both walk away, free and clear. He turned to face her fully. But there's a price. What price? He gives up his name, his inheritance, everything attached to this family. He becomes no one. His gaze was cold. And you accept that the man you love will be starting over with nothing but what he's hidden away. No empire, no power, just him. Can you live with that? Kira didn't hesitate. Yes. You're sure? I don't want his empire. I want him. Cha Dongwu stared at her like she was a puzzle he couldn't solve. Then he pulled out his phone and made a call. He spoke in rapid Korean. Kira caught Jihoon's name, heard the word for release. When he hung up, he looked at her with something that might have been respect. He'll be free within the hour, he said. Don't make me regret this. I won't. Miss Marshall. He paused at the elevator. He's lucky to have you. I hope he's smart enough to know it. Then he was gone. Kira waited at her apartment. She'd been home for 40 minutes, pacing, checking her phone, trying not to think about all the ways this could still go wrong. Then she heard footsteps in the hallway. The door opened. Jihoon stood there, bruised, exhausted, alive. Hi, she whispered. He crossed the room in 3 strides and pulled her into his arms, held her so tight she could barely breathe. You shouldn't have done that, he said into her hair. I know. You could have been killed. So could you. He pulled back just enough to look at her, his hands framing her face. What did you say to him? The truth, which is that I love you, that I'm not going anywhere, that he could either accept it or spend the rest of his life watching his son choose me over him. Jihoon's expression cracked. Kira, and I meant it, she continued. Every word. I don't care about the money or the name or any of it. I just want you. That's all I've ever wanted. You know what this means, he said quietly. No more empire. No more protection. Just me. Just you, she echoed. That's more than enough. He kissed her then. Soft, deep, devastating. Like he was memorizing the taste of her, the feel of her. Like he couldn't quite believe she was real. When he pulled back, his forehead rested against hers. Marry me, he whispered. Her breath caught. What? Marry me. Tonight. Tomorrow. I don't care. His voice broke. I need you to be mine. Legally. Completely. So no one can ever take you from me. Jihoon, I know it's fast. I know it's insane. But I've never been more sure of anything in my life. He pulled back, searching her eyes. Marry me, Kira. Please. She should have said it was too soon. Should have asked for time. Instead, she said, yes. 3 months later, the apartment was smaller than Jihoon's penthouse. 2 bedrooms, a galley kitchen, a view of the street instead of the skyline. No marble, no floor-to-ceiling windows, no reminders of the empire he'd left behind. but it was theirs. Kira came home from work to find him cooking, actually cooking, not ordering in, with music playing from his phone and flour on his shirt. "What is this?" she asked, setting down her bag. "Dinner. You can cook." "I'm learning." He glanced over his shoulder, smiling. "How was your day?" "Long. Boring. Normal." She crossed to him, wrapping her arms around his waist from behind. "I love it." He turned in her embrace, pulling her close. "Yeah. Yeah." He kissed the top of her head. "Good. Because I have news." "What kind of news?" "The kind where I might have accepted a job." She pulled back. "Doing what?" "Consulting. For a firm that helps businesses restructure. Legal. Boring. Nothing like before. You'll hate it." "Probably." He smiled. "But it's honest work. And I want to build something that's ours, not theirs." Her chest squeezed. "I'm proud of you." "Don't be. I'm still figuring this out." "That's why I'm proud." They ate dinner on the couch, her feet in his lap, talking about nothing and everything. Simone had called earlier. She was dating someone, apparently. A doctor, very respectable. "She's relieved you didn't get me killed," Kira said. "So am I." "Do you miss it?" she asked quietly. "The life you had?" Jihoon was quiet for a moment. "Sometimes. Not the violence or the control, but the certainty. Knowing who I was, what I was supposed to do. And now?" He looked at her. "Now I'm figuring out who I am when no one's telling me. It's terrifying. But I get to do it with you, so it's worth it." 6 months later. Kira woke up nauseous. She blamed the takeout from the night before, then the week-old leftovers, then stress. But when it didn't stop after 5 days, she bought a test. 2 lines. She stared at it for 10 minutes, heart pounding, mind racing through implications and logistics, and the terrifying reality that everything was about to change. Again. Jihoon found her sitting on the bathroom floor. "Kira." He crouched beside her. "What's wrong?" She handed him the test. He looked at it. Looked at her. Looked at the test again. "You're pregnant." "Yeah." Silence. Then quietly. "How do you feel?" Terrified. "Me too." She laughed, sharp, disbelieving. "Really? You're scared? Are you kidding? I barely know how to take care of myself. How am I supposed to take care of a—" He stopped, the weight of it hitting him. "A baby? We're having a baby." "If you want to," Kira said, quickly. "I mean, we don't have to. We can—" He kissed her. Soft. "Sure," silencing every doubt. "We're having a baby," he said against her lips. "And it's going to be okay. You don't know that. I know we'll figure it out. Together." She wanted to argue, to list all the ways this could go wrong, but the certainty in his eyes stopped her. "Okay," she whispered. "Okay." He pulled her into his lap, holding her close, and for the first time in months, Kira felt something she hadn't let herself feel before. No. 7 months later. The baby's room was small but perfect. Soft yellow walls. A crib Jihoon had built himself, slightly crooked but sturdy. Stuffed animals lined the shelves, gifts from Simone and co-workers and people who'd somehow become family. Kira stood in the doorway, 6 months pregnant, watching Jihoon paint the final wall. "You're staring," he said without turning around. "I'm admiring." "Liar," she smiled. "Okay, I'm staring. You look good with a paintbrush. I look ridiculous. You look like a dad." He paused, setting down the brush, turned to face her. "Say that again. You look like a dad?" His expression softened. "I'm terrified I'll be terrible at it." "You won't be. You don't know that." She crossed to him, taking his hand and placing it on her stomach. "Feel that." A kick, strong, insistent. Jihoon's eyes widened. Was that? That's your daughter telling you she already loves you. His throat worked. How do you know? Because I do. And she's half me. He pulled her close, careful of her belly, pressing his face into her hair. I don't deserve this. Yes, you do. I've done terrible things, Kira. And you're doing better things now. That's what matters. She went into labor on a Tuesday. 16 hours of pain and fear, and Jae-hoon holding her hand through all of it, looking more terrified than she'd ever seen. Him. You're doing great, he kept saying. I'm dying, she panted. You're not dying. I'm going to kill you. Okay. When their daughter finally arrived, screaming, red-faced, perfect, Jae-hoon cried. Actual tears. The nurse placed the baby in Kira's arms, and the world narrowed to this. Her daughter's tiny fingers. Jae-hoon's hand on her shoulder. The impossible weight of love. She's beautiful, he whispered. She looks like you. Poor kid. Kira laughed through her own tears. What should we name her? He was quiet for a moment, staring at his daughter like she was the only thing that mattered in the universe. Minji, he said finally. Kira frowned. Isn't that my mother's name? He looked at her. If that's okay. She didn't hesitate. It's perfect. 2 years later. They'd moved again. A house this time, small, suburban, with a yard where Minji could play, and neighbors who smiled and waved and had no idea who Jae-hoon used to be. He worked long hours at the consulting firm, had been promoted twice, came home tired, but lighter than he'd ever been in his old life. Kira had gone back to work part-time, consulting from home, spending her mornings with Minji and her afternoons on video calls. It wasn't perfect. They fought sometimes. About money. About whose turn it was to do the dishes. About whether Minji was too young for a puppy. She was. But it was real. And it was theirs. One Saturday morning, Kira woke to an empty bed. She found Jae-hoon in the backyard, sitting on the grass with Minji in his lap. He was pointing at clouds, naming shapes, while their daughter babbled nonsense and grabbed at his face. Kira watched from the doorway, her heart full. He glanced up, catching her gaze, smiled. Come here, he said. She did. They sat together in the morning sun, Jae-hoon, Kira, and Minji. And for the first time in 3 years, Kira realized something. They'd made it. Against empires and threats and impossible odds, they'd made it. What are you thinking? Jae-hoon asked quietly. That I'd do it all again, she said. Every terrifying moment, every impossible choice. I'd do it all again to get here. He leaned over, kissing her softly. Me too. Minji squealed, grabbing both their faces, and they laughed, the kind of laugh that came from deep relief and deeper joy. We should get married, Jae-hoon said suddenly. Kira blinked. We are married. I mean really married. Big wedding, white dress, your family, the works. My family still thinks you're dangerous. I am dangerous, but only to people who threaten you to. She smiled. Okay. Okay? Yeah, let's do it. Big wedding, white dress, all of it. He kissed her again, longer this time, until Minji protested loudly. I love you, he murmured against her lips. I love you too. Forever? Forever. One night, after Minji was asleep, they sat on the porch with wine and silence. Do you ever think about it? Kira asked. The life you left? Sometimes, Jae-hoon admitted, but only to remember what I escaped. Any regrets? He turned to look at her. Not one. Not even when money's tight. Or when you're working late and exhausted, and not even then. He took her hand. I spent 30 years being someone I hated. Someone powerful and empty and alone. And then I met you, and I learned what it felt like to be human. That's cheesy. It's true. She smiled. I know. They sat in comfortable silence, fingers intertwined, watching the street slowly empty as night settled in. Hey, Jihoon? Yeah? Thank you. For what? For choosing me. For fighting for this. For proving that love is stronger than fear. He brought her hand to his lips. Thank you for letting me. And in that quiet suburban house, with their daughter asleep upstairs and the past finally behind them, Jihoon and Kira proved something that empires and threats and impossible odds had tried to deny. That love, real, chosen, fought for love,